It's the Sports Doctor, Dr. Bob Weil. We've got Leena Patel on the line, calling from California. Leena is an elite performance specialist. Interesting gal. She's trained some of the best athletes in the world in the sport, like in the whole Cirque du Soleil. She's worked with many. She's an ex-dancer, athlete herself. So, Leena, welcome to the Sports Doctor.
Hi, Dr. Bob. Thanks for having me.
I am very glad to have you. I thought we would jump right in and have you give us a little bit of a synopsis of history and background.
Sure. I was introduced, actually started with yoga training from the age of 4. Both of my grandparents were my mentors, and that gave me a really strong foundation in mindfulness, in presence, and also from a physical training and from a health standpoint. Around 12, 13, I discovered modern dance and ballet. I immediately fell in love with the idea that you could tell a story and express emotion without having to say a word, which is ironic now that I speak for a living.
There you go. See, you never know.
You never know. But as a young girl, it was so powerful for me to be able to use my body and command it to move with that kind of grace and power. And so I became a soloist-level professional dancer. I did that for a decade, 15 years. And went on to work with some amazing people around the world. Really, really blessed. And now
it's interesting, Leena. On the Sports Doctor, we talk a lot about some of the best athletes in the world use and include yoga. We also talk that some of the best athletes in the world are dancers. Both things which sure fall into the elite performance world that you're involved in, right?
Correct. So one of my main premises is that even as we're working or specializing in one particular sport, a lot of athletes will supplement their training with other disciplines, because if we're only training, and you know this, if we're only training our body in one, we're missing a lot of the vital aspects that will support our training to take us to the highest level.
Well, yes, we find the epidemic of overuse injuries in children. You know, we're watching the Olympics. It's incredibly exciting when you're watching sports like gymnastics, even soccer, tennis, where I call them the prodigy sports. I mean, my Olympic gold medal figure skating champion, Evan Lysacek, Leena, who grew up in the Naperville, Illinois area, he was 10 years old when I put orthotics in his skates. He was already doing triple jumps. So some of these kids very specialized very early, and it seems that learning how to train the body as best you can, including disciplines, you learned that, I guess, because you were specializing in dance.
So I specialized in dance, but, actually, I started very late. So the yoga training was from a very early age, and that supported me a great deal. But when you move into a different disciplines, the body has to reconfigure to move in a different way. And so when I started at 12, going on 13, I figured I need to catch up. I'm behind, compared to my peers, and I worked really hard, and I put in a lot of extra hours, and that really served me a lot. But what happened is I got to a point where, I was 18 years old, I remember this, I got injured to the point where I couldn't walk for 18 months. And my trainers and my coaches were telling me, Leena, maybe it's time to consider a different career path. We don't know if you're going to walk again. And for me, the lesson for me, and I wasn't having any of that. I was going to be a professional athlete. There was nothing that was stopping me. I had to learn how to work smarter, not harder. And, they say in business, 80% of the results you get from 20% of where you spend your time and effort. And so I started training and learning how to utilize my training and looking at the areas where I was spending 20% of the time that was generating great results, but the rest of the time, what was I doing that wasn't as effective? And actually reconfiguring the training so that I was optimizing my training time and getting better results.
Now, we talk a lot, and everybody listening to the Sports Doctor, I'm Dr. Bob Weil, sports podiatrist. You can go to my website, sportsdoctorradio.com, and you could listen to lots of past shows. You could see who the past guests were, what the topics were, and then listen to whatever you want. You could read lots of informative articles that we've published in all areas of sports medicine, health and wellness, everything from being a step or two quicker and the role of the foot in sports to women and surviving high heels. We talk a lot about high performance, prevention of trouble, enhancing performance, and here we have Leena Patel, who is an internationally recognized for supporting individuals to perform at their personal best. whether it's sports or whether it's business. Now, we all know Cirque du Soleil. Some of the most amazing athletic individuals that I've ever seen, and I go way back in sports medicine. You've worked with these Cirque, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I've worked with several of their shows over many years. They're incredible to work with. The diligence, the focus that they bring to their training and to their performance is, for me, is just so inspiring. It's incredible to actually be part of it.
Yeah, they're all acrobats. It's just pretty amazing. To keep that group healthy, my hat's off. The sports doctor hat comes off when we're talking about keeping that type of a group. Again, we talk a lot on the Sports Doctor, Leena, about the connection of the mental and physical when it comes to high performance, to elite performance. You seem to spend a lot of attention. Again, you grew up in the world of yoga, which has a big mental component to it. What are some of your thoughts on the mind-body connection in elite performance?
Well, first of all, you can't separate the two. The focus, the intentionality with which you bring everything is going to affect your performance. We've seen this in, even some of the athletes that have been scoring in the Olympics over the last few weeks. People like Katie Ledecky is just astounding in what she's doing, and it's not an accident. The way in which these top athletes, even people at Cirque, the way they approach their training and the way that I've supported them in helping them is to put in a system so that, for a lot of these athletes, their focus is already there. They already determine what their end goal is. They want to win.
Yes, give us a quickie synopsis of the quote-unquote your system. What are some of the bullet points in your system?
Well, so there's actually 9 elements to this, so I can give you a quick overview, but essentially, here's the challenge, and here's the 3 messages I want people to get as they're listening to this. Most athletes focus on making big improvements in one area. That's a slow uphill climb. So the goal is to achieve progress in everything that gets on, no matter how small or incremental. That's the key to success. And so what I help people do is actually look at those distinctions in 9 different areas. So if we're swimming, we're not just working on that one stroke. If we're running, we're not just working on I'll give you an example to put it into context. If you're going to be running, our goal is to be improved. If we're long distance running, our goal is to increase the time for most of us as running. We're going to be focusing on that one area that's going to be marked to show our improvement. What I help athletes do is look at 9 different areas that they can be focusing on that are going to help them to improve their game, and they all contribute to helping them to be the best. They're all different areas. So I'll give you some examples. One is the area of just increasing the quantity with which you do something. So that's simply
okay, right. Do more of it. What's another one?
Quantity, doing the same skill. The quality, so just doing the same skill, but we're doing it with more refinement, with more skill. Better form. We're looking at our stroke. We're looking at the way we use our arms. Looking at the quality of where our elbows are going in a downward-facing dog. So looking at that form and that quality. Another one's duration. So we're increasing the time with which we do the skill. So if we're running for 15 minutes, the next day we're going to run for 16, and then 17.
Yes. Now, again, a big area is the idea of staying injury-free and not overdoing it. And I'm sure those kinds of mixtures depending on who you're working with, what people's history of injury or problems happen to be, I'm sure that you're factoring a lot of that in as the background, regardless of who you're working with. True?
We have to. So one of the things I actually make sure I do is I get an entire medical history on the person I'm working with, and we look at what their goals are. We look at the inhibitors that are in place right now, and then I will create a program that's customized to them. And so if they do have injuries, usually actually it's because, going back to the problem I was talking about earlier, they're focusing on one area. So if someone's got a knee injury, quite often they're told you've got to strengthen the quadriceps. So they'll spend all their time focusing on strengthening the quadriceps. But what happens when you focus on strengthening the quadriceps and you neglect the hamstring? You've got an imbalance. So we've got to work on, when you've got an injury, you've got to work, there's a ripple-on effect. You've got to focus on strengthening that area.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. Sounds like you're mixing in a lot. Give us quickly, before we come back, Leena, the website people can go to find out more about Elite Performance Systems?
Sure. My website is leenapatel.net, LEENAPATEL.net. And if you go to leenapatel.net/free gift, you've got sort of some fundamentals for keeping in shape and staying in elite performance that you
All right,
take
great.
away.
We're going to ask you some more about some of those special 9 points that you pay so much attention to, the personal training side, the mental side. We might ask you a little bit about your psychology skills at the same time dealing with parents and active athletes. We'll be right back, everybody. It's the Sports Doctor.
Hey, sports people, listen up. Groundbreaking Vector Mouthguard has ESP technology and impact intelligence. That's right, Vector Mouthguard is a smart mouthguard that gathers and transmits impact data and its effect on the brain in real time, straight to your coach's smartphone or computer. The Vector Mouthguard means safer games, enabling you to play better and play smarter. Visit VectorMouthguard.com or call 425-372-7811. That's 425-372-7811. If you live in or near Aurora, Illinois and are into sports, you cannot forget about your feet. There are complex motions that come into play, especially in sports. Visit the offices of sports podiatrist Robert Weil for free foot screenings and foot mechanics. He even offers prescription in-shoe orthotics, the major tool for treatment and prevention of foot-related ankle and leg problems, as well as in enhancing performance. Call Dr. Weil now and make an appointment for your free screening at 630-898-3505. Call 630-898-3505.
See straight and save. These days, everyone seems to see things differently. But from your eyes, you can see straight and save. Right now, get glasses online at 70% off at Glasses USA. There's a 100% guarantee, too, on top brand men, women, multifocal, and even prescription sunglasses. Visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on Glasses USA, and you will see straight and save.
Personal service, experienced sales team, and a huge selection go hand in hand with Mirabali Shoes. For 55 years, the Mirabali family has always delivered the finest in footwear and the highest level of service to its customers. From national designers to over 40 name brands, Mirabalis can offer many choices to fit your lifestyle. Our team is dedicated to ensuring you an exceptional fit and comfort by providing shoes in a wide range of sizes and widths. Visit Mirabali Shoes in Wheaton Town Square or on the corner of 144th Place and LaGrange Road in Orland Park. Or visit MiraballyShoes.com. MiraballyShoes.com.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Hey, sports people, listen up. Groundbreaking Vector Mouthguard has ESP technology and impact intelligence. That's right, Vector Mouthguard is a smart mouthguard that gathers and transmits impact data and its effect on the brain in real time, straight to your coach's smartphone or computer. The Vector Mouthguard means safer games, enabling you to play better and play smarter. Visit VectorMouthguard.com or call 425-372-7811. That's 425-372-7811.
Stuff. Where can I contain all of my stuff? How about this? The Container Store, the original storage and organization store. And I found their link on the HealthyLife.net advertiser page. They have containers for everything, including the kitchen, the bathroom, trash and recycling, traveling, spring cleaning, and dorm rooms. Just about everything you can think of to contain your stuff. The Container Store, right on the HealthyLife.net advertiser page.
Hello? This is Amy from Farmers Insurance. Any changes since we last spoke? Well, I have this beautiful new diamond.
Oh, congratulations. Now, expensive items like your ring might need additional coverage. Can I add it for you?
Great.
Until you close the gaps in your insurance, you could be living dangerously. We'll help you know the gaps and lose all the...
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
The Sports Doctor is in. Visit sportsdoctorradio.com. Get lots of useful information from Dr. Robert Weil, DPM. You can listen to over 3 years of past radio shows, including a series on childhood obesity. Plus, you can read many articles on many topics, all on sportsdoctorradio.com. Dr. Robert Weil has worked with Olympic gold medalist figure skating champion Evan Lysacek and four-time IHSA state tennis champion UCLA player Liz Lumpkin and many top volleyball players at Sports Performance in Aurora, Illinois. Visit sportsdoctorradio.com now.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Welcome back to the Sports Doctor in the world of technical glitches. I'm on my cell phone now speaking with Leena Patel, Elite Performance Specialist, as my elite landline. something happened. So welcome back, Leena.
Hi, Dr. Bob. I'm here. Great to be here.
All right. I'm glad you're back. And we just were talking about some of the different things you felt were so important in dealing with any particular individual or athlete. You were mentioning to me that you speak to groups and professional associations, business groups about elite performance, and you use a lot of times sports as part of the factors that are important.
Yes, so what I do is I speak at conferences, at events, I do in-house trainings, and I love working at I love delivering innovation and helping my clients to deliver innovation in their space. And I use this system that I've developed and worked with athletes for almost 2 decades now, bringing that into the world of business so that people can take these tiny little distinctions that top athletes use, apply them to their business, and all of a sudden they generate one idea or a couple of ideas that escalate their business and get extraordinary results.
Yeah, how's your sports psychology skills? I always get so many of my people who are in the world of training. You know, if you're working with young athletes, you've got their parents or coaches to deal with. If you're working with high-performance business people, you got that to deal with. How's your psychology side?
I've got a psychology background. I study psychology, and for me, it's so integral to bring that element into the training side because we're dealing with people, and people. My mentor always used to say to me, "People complicate everything." But we've got to acknowledge where people are at, and we've got to look at the support system they've got around them. So whether it's in whether it's our family or whether it's in our working environment, look at the people around that we can sort of enroll and enlist in cheerleading and championing our performance, and also the people that are blocking us and how we can have conversations with them that can support us.
Now you've got a book coming out, right, in the near future that really talks all about what you're doing. What's the title of the book?
The title of the upcoming book is Lead Yourself First, 6 principles that build character, careers, and companies. And it's bringing all of these elements that we've been talking about today, bringing the elements that give people a sense of personal ownership, how they can take control, if you will, of their environment and create great value in the workplace and beyond.
And people could find out information about the book if they go to your website, right?
Go to leenapatel.net, and all the information about that upcoming book is
okay,
there.
now, years ago, it wasn't that many years ago, but years ago I was in Las Vegas with my friend. We went to a fantastic show. It was Celine Dion. I remember saying to my friend, I couldn't believe how physical she was. I had no idea she was that athletic as a dancer, et cetera. I knew about her singing. And then I see, and you mentioned to me when I met you in New York, that you worked with Celine Dion. Could you talk about that a little?
I've worked with her for many, many years now, and again, just like every other performer that I work with, or every other artist, every other business leader, we're looking at their entire their being. We're looking at their physiology, we're looking at their psychology, we're looking at their productivity, we're looking at what their end goal is and how they can get to it more effectively. And so I've known her for many years now. We spend a lot of time looking at what her needs were to be able to get her performing on stage and off stage at a higher level. So she's incredible.
Yes, that was some high level. I understand she's going back, I think, to be back in Las Vegas again. I think she's going to be doing this.
Yeah, so we worked together on preparing her for this current show that she's doing in Las Vegas. She's taking a little break. She's in Montreal right now. But we worked together in getting her prepared for that show also.
So you do some one-on-ones, I'm sure, with her. She ain't in the class. But
it's all bespoke. It's all. Yeah, we're working directly one-to-one. For a lot of top-level people, results matter. When you're working at a world-class level, you're looking at getting those minute distinctions that are specific to your performance and your professional performance level. And so we identify those and work to fast-track that.
Yes, and again, in watching the Olympics, it becomes pretty apparent. It's so extraordinary to watch so many different sports, so many different events, so many different levels. Where I was watching that 41-year-old gymnast doing vaults, I just found that amazing. And some of these other events, these kids, the challenges are dramatic. And you could see the kinds of discipline and focus, concentration that must go into developing this type of career. It's an amazing stuff.
Sure. A lot of these people are starting very young, especially when it comes to sports and you're playing at that world-class level. What is absolutely critical for anyone, it doesn't matter what level you're playing at, is to have a coach on your team, have somebody who's able to point out those blind spots that you're not able to see for yourself and to push you to reach that next level.
I think the challenge of coaches sometimes and what they bring to the table. And again, when I've had sports psychologists on my show, we would talk a lot about the topic that's near and dear to me, which again is parenting the child athlete, and getting them ready and paying attention to the things that might really be important. How young do you get involved with some of these boys and girls, as an example?
So I've had, my youngest client has been a 15-year-old. I've had parents ask me for advice about their children. Most of the time, they're people. They've been on the training path, and you've either got parents who are looking to maybe they've hit a stumbling block, or maybe they're moving from sort of a small level amateur to like now moving over to full scale professional. Maybe they're traveling more, and all of a sudden, they're hitting a next level in their career. And so either their parents or sometimes the individuals themselves are reaching out and saying, hey, can you help me? And I've worked with people over Skype, coached them on their training regimes and helped step up their game through video coaching. And that's something that, I absolutely love to do.
Yeah, it seems to me that that's an exploding area, the video coaching, the ability to instill all sorts of information wherever that individual happens to be. Has got to be a huge weapon, even though, of course, I'm sure hands-on is preferable. But the online world is a big one, I guess, when it comes to, again, it's a great term, elite performance. Everybody knows what that means.
Sure. I think for me, it's just if you've got that ability to just be able to identify what that minute thing is that person needs, I can look at somebody within a matter of seconds and be able to give them that distinction. And so for me, in person is great, but in video absolutely works, and I can deliver.
Yes, that like you called it, an aha moment. I want to thank you, Leena Patel, for joining us. Give us the website one more time. People could find out about what you're doing and the title of your upcoming book.
Upcoming book is Lead Yourself First, and my website is leenapatel.net, LEENAPATEL.net.
All right, Leena Patel, Elite Performance Specialist. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll have to get you back. Hold on for a quick second, Leena. Everybody, we'll be right back with the Sports Doctors In segment.
Personal service, experienced sales team, and a huge selection go hand in hand with Mirabali Shoes. For 55 years, the Mirabali family has always delivered the finest in footwear and the highest level of service to its customers. From national designers to over 40 name brands, Mirabalis can offer many choices to fit your lifestyle. Our team is dedicated to ensuring you an exceptional fit and comfort by providing shoes in a wide range of sizes and widths. Visit Mirabali Shoes in Wheaton Town Square or on the corner of 144th Place and LaGrange Road in Orland Park, or visit MirabaliShoes.com. MirabaliShoes.com.
Discover why over 500,000 customers from 30 countries buy their quality homeopathic and herbal products from Native Remedies. Visit our advertiser page and click on Native Remedies, the natural choice.
If you live in or near Aurora, Illinois and are into sports, you cannot forget about your feet. There are complex motions that come into play, especially in sports. Visit the offices of sports podiatrist Robert Weil for free foot screenings and foot mechanics. He even offers prescription in-shoe orthotics, the major tool for treatment and prevention of foot-related ankle and leg problems, as well as in enhancing performance. Call Dr. Weil now and make an appointment for your free screening at 630-898-3505. Call 630-898-3505.
You're listening to CHSR Real Radio on the web.
Hey, everybody, we're back. I'm a sports doctor. It's Cell Phone Bob calling in. Had a little trouble with my line a minute or two ago, but it's working. And welcome to the Sports Doctors In segment, where we preview some upcoming shows, let you know who's coming on the topics, answer some emails. Next week, we've got returning postpartum new mom physical therapist specialist Mary Ann Ryan from New York will be with us. A longtime associate of mine, Darren Halpin, and Ben Bleacher. They're with Hand and Half Labs. And the orthotics lab information that I've used for decades, they're going to be talking orthotics with us. We're going to have a quickie guest, Kim White, will join us next week. She's one of the executive directors of Community Career Center, who's sponsoring Dancing with the Celebrities. I'm dancing in it, so we're going to hype that up for sure next week. The following week, we're going to be talking to WLUK-TV host in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Michelle Melby. She's a skating mom and a figure skating coach. So we're excited about her joining us. Dan Roberts, personal trainer to celebrities in his system, will be joining us. Following week, we get into September. Podiatrist, shoe designer, Dr. Michelle Cologne will join us, and our personal defense expert, Pete Canahan, will be joining us. A little bit of further discussion like last week, again, about the Olympics. It's really been something to see. We had a couple of emails that were related to that. I had an email from Tom. He said, how tough is it playing sports in the sand like beach volleyball? It's a great question, Tom. The answer is it's real tough. Anybody who's walked on the beach, plays sports on the beach barefoot, knows how different it is when you're using all of the muscles and function of the foot in flexible sand background. So it definitely is a challenge. It's a whole different story. We like to add in sand training when it's available barefoot for any athlete in any sport as part of strengthening the foot naturally. But sometimes it can't be done. But there's no doubt about it. Running and jumping in the sand is a whole different dynamic physically. Phyllis talks about, she said, you know, you talk a lot, Dr. Weil, about specialization on the Sports Doctor. Boy, the Olympics are a great example. And Phyllis, yes, they are. It's hard to imagine almost anybody that you see at the Olympic level who hasn't been doing what they're doing forever. There are some exceptions, but not many. And some of them are real prodigy-oriented, like gymnastics, where we might see, again, 4 or 5-year-olds are getting involved, like in dance. We see the same thing in soccer or tennis, where sometimes by 10 years old we might be playing that sport every day. We might be on traveling teams. We might be on indoor surfaces. So the bugaboo of over-motion, competitive or repetitive motion injury is epidemic in growing kids. And we really have to pay attention to those kinds of challenges. It would be ideal if boys and girls grew up playing multiple sports. A lot of times they still do. Although, boy, you got to look far and wide to see the old 3-letter athlete, as we used to call it way back in where they gave you a leather sweater where the athletes played 3 different sports. It's a lot of a different story now, and it's a lot of early demand on the body. You got to mention some of the magic in the Olympics so far, whether it's the young gymnastics American team, maybe the greatest team ever. It seems that the acrobatics in the world of gymnastics, diving, some others, just never seems to stop increasing every time you see it. So this young kid, Styles, the rest of the team, Ellie Raisman, where we really see these incredible performances in gymnastics. We're watching a phenomenon with Michael Phelps, again, in the sports psychology world, in the comeback world. He's a great, great story. Michael had lots of problems after the 2012 Olympics. This is like his 5th Olympics. The pressures, the expectations, all of these things really threw him a curveball. He was in a dark place. It's just this whole different story now. One of the reasons, in my mind, he was able to dominate still at 31 years old is this incredible mental attitude that he came into the Olympic Games with. People who listen to the show, at sportsdoctorradio.com, you can listen to past shows. You know that we always talk about a topic of parenting the child athlete. It's something that we dwell on a lot. And again, when you're watching the Olympics and you watch some of these parents that they show, it really is fantastic to, number one, realize what that takes to years worth of dedication financially, mentally, and physically to have these kids become an Olympian. Kinds of pressures that go with that, the Little League parent, etc. So another week or so of the Olympics. Everybody, fast shout out to our supporters, Mirabali Shoes, New Balance Naperville, New Balance Geneva, I1 Biometrics, the Vector Mouth Guard, Space Age Mouth Guard smartphone, I call it, Farmers Insurance Extra Gretchen. I want to thank everybody for their support. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Hey, catch you next time from Chicago. It's the Sports Doctor.